19th century Europe, some were sad they didn't have tuberculosis. Because back then, TB was romanticized as the genius disease. Pale face, thin waist, sad eyes, that was high fashion. Rich women painted their faces with lead, tightened corsets to look sickly thin, even drank vinegar to make their skin pale. Byron even joked, "I'd rather die of TB. Women will say I died beautifully." Before science shined a light, people blamed TB on heredity. In the Middle Ages, they believed only the king's touch could cure it. Pale skin, coughing blood, getting thin. People saw these as signs of genius. Keats, Shelley, Kafka, Chekhov. Their deaths were turned into romantic stories. Inspiration dancing with death. But on the other side were the factory workers. Dozens of workers stuffed into rooms with no windows. One by one, they started coughing, getting thin, spitting blood, then died. No romantic poems were ever written about them. In 19th century Britain, 1 out of every 4 deaths was from TB. Most patients only saw a doctor when they were already coughing blood and dangerously thin. Then 2 men showed up and tore the old world apart. 1816, Paris. TB hung over the city. French doctor Laennec moved among patients who couldn't stop coughing blood. He kept asking himself one question: how do you hear what's going on inside the body before death comes? Then one day, the traditional direct auscultation would be impolite for a female patient. Laennec suddenly recalled the wooden stick game of kids. He grabbed a piece of paper, rolled it into a tube, put one end on a patient's chest, the other end to his ear. The heartbeat hit his ear like a drum. Thus, the first stethoscope in human history was born. Laennec listened to hundreds of patients, then checked their lungs after death. He realized that TB in the lungs, TB in the lymph nodes, TB in the bones, TB in the gut, were all the same disease. He was the first person to see the full picture. The second crack was made by French army doctor Villemin. 1865, he took phlegm from a TB patient, injected it into rabbits. The rabbits got sick. Their lungs looked exactly like human TB lungs. Rabbits injected with ordinary pus were still fine. The answer was now clear. TB would spread. Villemin knew there was something deadly in that phlegm. But he couldn't isolate it, couldn't show it to the whole world. You'd think this would shock the world. No, just the reverse. The medical community gave him silence. People blamed it on bad blood or heredity. It drowned out the truth. Villemin's discovery sat buried for nearly 20 years. So how do we make the germ show itself? We need Robert Koch. Koch stood on the shoulders of those before him. He precisely saw the 2 big technical problems holding everyone back: staining and growing. He then spent the hardest year of his life. He faced 2 fundamental obstacles. The first problem, seeing it. The germ was extremely tricky. It was nearly invisible under a microscope because it wore a waxy coat, so that regular dyes just slid off. In his tiny laboratory, Koch experimented with dozens of different formulas. Finally, he found that an alkaline dye with heat could force its way through the waxy coat. When he looked through the lens again, there they were, clusters of long, dark blue rods, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. For the first time, humans looked their ancient enemy in the face. The second problem, growing it outside the body. Koch invented a solid growth medium. At body temperature, he waited and waited for weeks, until tiny breadcrumb-like colonies grew on the smooth. Only then was he relieved. The beast that had terrorized humanity for thousands of years was finally trapped. Koch didn't rush to announce, but instead made rules: isolate, grow, inject, isolate again. After a tight chain of proof on March 24, 1882, Koch announced that Mycobacterium tuberculosis causes TB His discovery smashed the old world of twisted aesthetics. Now let's see this micro-killer up close. It's a tiny assassin, travels in droplets, sneaks into your lungs. It disguises itself as a harmless package, tricks a macrophage into eating it. Then it takes over, locks down the cell's acid, turns the macrophage into its own base. When the immune system can't kill these spies, it builds a prison, granulomas. Walls of immune cells form thick, fibrous walls. The germ feels the oxygen disappear, so it shuts down, stops breathing, stops dividing, neither alive nor dead. If you stay up too late, get sick, get old, your immune system cracks. Oxygen rushes in, the germ wakes up, feeds, breaks out, turns your lung into a dry, crumbly ruin. Koch won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1905 for his research of TB. 1895, Röntgen discovered X-rays. Doctors got superhuman vision. Those calcified granulomas finally showed up clearly on film. 1943, Waxman found streptomycin in soil, the first weapon against TB's armor. 1948, the first randomized controlled trial tested it. Every drug approval today comes from that logic. From romantic poetry to public health crisis, it's actually 200 years of humans correcting our knowledge. Disease was never a mark of genius, also never an art form. The real heroes were the scientists who pushed through the fog. In an era that worshipped the beauty of death, they opened the window to science. They proved that life isn't meant to fade away in pale, sickly beauty. It's meant to be fought for, one breath at a time.